Hello, where from this Jane's Videos, and today I'm going to be reviewing the new for 2021 Lemax Spooky Town Ghost Writers Antique Bookstore. Now, funny enough, this is one that I actually initially was not planning on getting, yet I saw it at Michael's the other day, and I didn't see it on display, but I did see it in the box, and I really wanted to get it. As I've mentioned, I'm going much bigger with my village this year, adding a lot more detail and stuff. And I planned a little town square area, and though I have a lot of Lemax Spooky Town buildings, I don't really have very many town square buildings, and this one was one that I think was one of the best this year. And it's actually, if you're not too into Spooky Town and you don't want to pay the big prices, but you'd still like to do one, I would say this is actually a good one for you, because it's actually one of the cheaper ones this year. It is only $44.99, which is actually a pretty cheap price for a Lemax Spooky Town piece. Now, the reason it is that price is because there's no fancy lighting on this one, there's no cool animation, no audio. It's basically just a small little interior lit building. However, some of those small interior lit buildings can really be some of the coolest ones, and I think this one's definitely takes the cake as one of those. It's an old-fashioned antique store, antique bookstore, and I think it has a very Halloween vibe to it. At first, I actually didn't think it had too much of a Halloween vibe, and my main reason for that was the blue roof, because it just didn't look like a very Halloween-y color. But then when I got it out of the box and I looked at it, I was like, okay, this is very Halloween-y. It looks like something you'd see in like an old New England town decorated for Halloween. It looks like something from Salem, Massachusetts, honestly. I love the architecture on it. It looks very, very Halloween-y. It's got that really cool monster face as the window up top, which is actually my favorite part about it, and it was my big draw to this one. It's really cool, and there's a lot to talk about with it, so we're going to get more in depth. First off, you've got the kind of top area here where you've got the sign, the Ghost Writers Antique Bookstore. I really like the quill pen right there. You've got a giant book on the side off to the sign. Obviously, right there, front and center, my favorite part about this piece is the nice monster face window. I think that looks super cool, and actually this piece lights up pretty bright. I didn't expect it to light up as bright and nicely as it does, but it lights up pretty bright, and I do like that a lot for it. There's a little skeleton reading a book at the top there, and actually one thing I want to note is that all around this building, oh, I just broke a piece off. That sucks. Like, you need to be careful with these. Just keep that in mind. But I just broke a piece off, but I can just glue that back on. But all around this building has like really cool detail, because the whole thing all around is like, all around this building has really cool detail, because the whole thing all around has nice architecture, which is pretty cool, because actually most times the Lemax buildings only have the front really detailed, and the others are just kind of like basic sides of the building. But on this one, every side is pretty well detailed. You can see that little balcony there with a pumpkin and some bones. I really like that, but it looks really good. You move down here and you have kind of the main entryway and stuff. I'm gonna talk about the interior scene in just a moment, but you've got this doorway here with a welcome sign. You have horror reading 3 a.m., which is the part that I just broke off, but that's alright. You have the little Ghost Writers sign over there. There's a sidewalk sale going on here with a bunch of books and stuff, and then you've got some jack-o'-lanterns all around, which really add to the Halloween atmosphere, which I love. You have a little play on words street sign there, Deadline Drive and Foreshadow Street. I like that. And you have a little Grim Reaper hiding there, which initially I thought he was like looking out from behind a door, but he's actually just kind of standing there off to the side on his own is what he's doing. Let me zoom in here on the interior scene, and we're going to talk about that a bit. I really like it. I think it looks cool. You have this skeleton in there, and he's typing at a typewriter, and then you have a backdrop with a bunch of books and stuff. You have a voodoo doll on the shelf. Got some other miscellaneous things going on there. He's got some cobwebs. I think it looks cool. I like it. I like how it looks lit up. The little skeleton typing at his typewriter there. I think that looks super cool, and I think it's a cool added touch. A lot of these interior lighted buildings have a lot of like small little interior scenes of like things going on. I think that's definitely one of the coolest ones I've seen on one of these in a while. I like that one a lot. So overall, it's a really nice looking piece, which that's what you're getting this one for. You're getting it for looks. You're not getting it for crazy animation, crazy lighting. You're just getting it because it looks cool. It's not really a big statement one that you want right in the center of your village, but I think it definitely works as one that would be like off to the side in a town square. I think it really has a Halloween atmosphere, and it's really just a nice one to have, especially considering its cheap price, which I was actually able to get it for only $38 with a 20% off coupon. So definitely invest in those 20% off coupons, but they actually just recently put the Spooky Town stuff on sale. And so if you go into your local Michael's or you order it online, it's actually only $33 now. And so you could get a pretty good deal on this one, which I definitely think, in my personal opinion, is worth it. The Lemax buildings typically tend to be pretty pricey, and I think that this is a pretty affordable price for one of them. And it's not big either. It's not too massive. You probably saw the size comparison, but it's not too small either. It's definitely not one of the smallest ones. It's not one of the biggest ones. It's not one of the smallest ones. It's like kind of like right in the middle. It's what you'd expect out of an interior lighted one, because those ones typically aren't that big either. Overall, I would give this a 7 out of 10. I think it's really cool. If you like this type of thing, if you're into the Spooky Town and you're looking for some town square buildings, I would highly recommend it. And for a fairly cheap price, I think it is worth your while if you want a cheap Spooky Town building. I hope you all enjoyed this review. Keep howling at the moon, my werewolves.